Coming up next here on Golf America, we're heading down to the Sunshine State as we'll take you around a wonderful Rees Jones designed golf course. Plus, the Open Doctor himself stops by the show to talk about the design philosophy to this incredible layout.
It was dictated really by Mother Nature, the trees and the wet areas. It's got some great par 3s, it's got some wonderful par 5s.
And PGA professional Brad Myers offers up a great tip on chipping when you're just off the back of the green.
And you got a number of options here. So I always work through the adage, you can putt when you putt, when you can chip if you can't putt, and throw the ball in the air if you can't do either one.
Golf America, a weekly look at the courses you play and the game we love, is brought to you by Antigua, apparel for your game, and by cyberlinksgolf.com, the home of golf course videos.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the program. We're in the Sunshine State once again this week at the Hammock Dunes Club in Palm Coast, Florida. Now, this private golf facility is home to two incredible layouts. The Tom Fazio designed links course, and our course of the week designed by the Open Doctor himself, Rees Jones, the Creek course. Now, later in the program, Rees will be joined by longtime director of golf here at the Hammock Dunes Club, Ron Sharp, and the two will talk about the design philosophy behind the Creek course. But first, let's head out to the course itself and take a look at why this is considered one of the finest layouts you can play anywhere in the Sunshine State.
Back in 2002, golf course architect Rees Jones was given a tract of land just west of the Intracoastal Waterway in Palm Coast, Florida. The goal was to create a championship-style layout that would flow ever so smoothly through the coastal plain in this part of the state. The result? Jones created a golf course that offers both marsh and creek views that are truly spectacular, fitting in perfectly with the 690 acres of nature preserve it is part of.
It's a very unique course in that you won't find any holes running parallel to each other.
Another unique aspect to the Creek course is that both it and its sister course, the Links course, are Autobahn certified.
This will always be a unique, pristine place.
Plus, the Creek course is a player's course and can be as tough as you make it.
Very difficult course from the back tees. The first 9 years the course was open. The course record was held by a member tour player at 2 under par.
With its 7 sets of tees, you can choose just how much of a challenge you would like in your round. For the very skilled player, the back tees play to nearly 7,400 yards and feature a course rating of 76.6 and a slope of 151. Moving it up to the forward tees, this layout plays to 46.77.
A golfer from any skill level can play up on the up front tees and really enjoy themselves.
Throughout your round, you'll be challenged as you play over and around plenty of water, through fairways lined with pine forest, tropical hardwoods, and marsh terrain. And along the way, course designer Rees Jones added multiple sand traps that can and will come into play. On the front side, hole number 6 is a great par 5 and features one of the tightest landing areas on the golf course.
the way that Rees Jones designed that hole, it appears that it's a short par 5, and it appears that you need to play it safely with the landing areas on the second shot heavily mounted in the middle of the fairway with hazards on both sides. But what you need to do is challenge the hole a little bit. And so I think it's unique in that aspect, is the more challenge, the farther you hit the ball, the more you're rewarded by that.
The par 4 8th is another fantastic hole on the front side. Off the tee, you must carry a marsh and then avoid the wetlands on both sides of the fairway. And then hit a very accurate second shot into the green.
A little unique for Florida in that the green is so elevated, so you have some deep bunkers on the left and right side and a false front on the fronts.
On the backside, the par 4 13th will certainly challenge each and every player as you take on one of the more exposed golf holes on the course.
The wind is primarily against you, the prevailing wind all the time, so you really have to hit your tee shot a little bit low. You're kind of a peninsula green with a lake on one side and the creek wetlands behind you on that green. So you have to carry an extra club into that green just to ensure that you're safely on that surface.
Number 16 is a tough par 3. From the back tees, it's all carried to the green complex that features a kidney-shaped green with a ridge running through the middle.
If you're hitting your shot out to the right side of the green, even though the yardage doesn't appear any different, you need to take an extra club to fly it over to the right side of the green. And very challenging putt if you have to negotiate that middle ridge and come over it from one side to the other.
The Rees Jones designed Creek course at Hammock Dunes Club. More than a golf course, it's the perfect complement to nature and man's greatest game.
Hello, my name's Brad Myers. I'm the PGA Director of Golf here at the Hammock Dunes Club in Palm Coast, Florida. Today we're at a creek course on the 14th hole. It's a great Rees Jones design. And if you've ever played any of Mr. Jones's courses, you've probably ended up in an area like this. You've missed the green. It's a closely mown area. It's a bowl or a runoff area. And you got a number of options here. So I always work through the adage, you can putt when you can. You can chip if you can't putt, and throw the ball in the air if you can't do either one. So this type of time of year, the Bermuda kind of stands up, so the putting stroke gets a little long to control the line of it. So I'm gonna hit a pitch shot here. And a lot of my students come to me and say that they have real troubles and fears about this pitch shot. And usually it stems from two things. They'll either hit behind it and hit it a foot or two, or they'll have the leading edge and they'll throw that into the equator of the ball and roll it out. But both of those things come from trying to help the ball from point A to point B with your hands, and it's too much of a straight line. So if we were playing croquet, that would be okay. You could straddle the line and make it a straight through stroke. But because we're in golf, we're to the side of the ball, and there has to be a rotation with your shoulders, so the pitching stroke needs to be round. So part of the problem with that is that you need to get your arms down through the shot. It's very important that your arms leave your collarbone and move down to hit a clean shot. So let's try this shot. So to recap, don't use your hands to make the ball go from point A to B. Try to use your arms moving down from your collarbone to maintain your circular motion in your swing. It's like a small version of your full swing. Thanks, and I hope that helps.
Our course of the week is the Creek course here at Hammock Dunes Club in Palm Coast, Florida. Right now, let's head out to hole number 15, where longtime director of golf, Ron Sharp, is joined by golf architect Rees Jones as they talk about the design philosophy that went into creating the Creek course.
And then this comes over a little bit more, and the bunker continues.
Rees, in 2001, when you first visited the site, you had a vision.
Well, I knew when we came here that we had a great opportunity because this was the second golf course at Hammock Dunes, really complements the first one. We're inland, the first course is on the ocean, and we have a pure site. Basically, it was so natural that we basically could find the holes.
Has it led up to your expectations?
Well, I think it's exceeded everyone's expectations. It's a diverse golf course. It changes pace, changes distances. It has different landscapes like you see the marsh, the long views here. It was dictated really by Mother Nature, the trees and the wet areas. It's got some great par 3s, it's got some wonderful par 5s, it's got a mixture of par 4s, short and long, and I think that's why people enjoy playing here on a daily basis. A lot of people come here not knowing just how natural this golf course is. There's no houses, there's no out of bounds. Every hole is framed by vegetation, either live oaks, palmettos, or pine trees, or a variation of a combination of those features. Every hole is individual. I mean, you really don't see another hole from one hole. It's a course we have to deal with the natural low areas, but at the same token, most of the greens are low profile, so you can access the green on the ground or in the air, depending on the quality of golfer that you are. But I think it's just a golf course because of its beauty and because of its challenge and because of where it is and the fact that it's out here and it's away from all the housing. It's a golf course that you enjoy playing on a daily basis.
You were asked to build a championship golf course that was playable for the very best players and members of all handicaps for both men and women. How were you able to do that?
Well, we have lots of tees. On some holes we have 6 tees. We built the back tees for championship. In fact, for the Florida State Open in 2019, they'll be playing the back tees. The par 3s really are pretty challenging for the better players because 3 of them are over 200 yards. So the par 5s are reachable by the good player, but the same token, and sometimes after they hit their drive, they may not want to try it. The par 4s have an ebb and flow to them. I mean, there's long, strong par 4s, and then there's finesse holes like 4 and 5 and 15. So it's a mixture of holes. The same token, anybody who sets this golf course up can the green contours are such that they'll challenge you and you can hide the pins on certain days. You can have an easy access hole location on certain days, or you can have a combination. So it varies in every circumstance, but at the same token, for the setup guy for the Florida State Open in 2019, he's going to have a good time.
Our course of the week is the Creek course here at Hammock Dunes in Palm Coast, Florida, a Rees Jones design golf course. Right now, let's head back out to hole number 15 and join longtime director of golf here at Hammock Dunes, Ron Sharp, and the Open Doctor himself, Rees Jones.
Said you wanted to build to a crescendo. What did you mean by that?
Well, we start out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are really very gettable, especially 4 and 5. But there's challenge. You got to play them correctly. 1's a long par 5, 2's a middle length par 3, and then you play 6, which really Mother Nature makes you have to play a very careful shot, a careful second shot, and then you get into a elevated green on 8, and 9 comes out into the open. So I think the first 9 probably gets you into the round well, and then you go to the back 9, and like the 11th hole is really probably the best hole on the golf course. I mean, off the tee with the water and the oak in the landing area and the bunkers on the left. The green's perched up a little bit, but it sweeps up in front. And then you get on these long creek holes. And the marsh side and the visuals, I think people are just staggered the first time they play here. And then 16 is a very strong par 3, and 17 is, even though it's not totally long, it's just the elevated green makes it a challenge. And 18, even though you can access it on the ground or the air, is a very, very strong hole. So I think it finishes strong.
Yeah, tell us about the restoration bunker work that you're doing over here. You did the greenside bunkers last year and you're doing the fairway bunkers this year. Tell us about what you're achieving on those.
Well, what's happened in golf course building is we get new technology, and when we built this we didn't have what we call the better Billy bunker, which is a way to keep the sand in place, keep the sand on the faces. So here at Hammock Dunes, they're spending the money and improving the bunkers and really restoring what they were 15 years ago with this floor that holds the sand in place, and we'll make it more playable. The sand will be more firm. The members have really enjoyed the greenside bunkers, and they're going to enjoy the fairway bunkers probably even more because they won't be as soft as they were in the past, because you're not going to have to rake them. And so you're going to be able to hit your hybrid clubs out of them more easily. So it's just an improvement. It's just what Hammock Dunes has been doing over the years, just making things better.
And you talked about 16. The 16 from the back tee is 230 yards, but we have shorter tees for the membership that I especially like because it's got 3 tiers in it. And even from the up tees, you can put pins in places on that green that make it really challenging, and that's a really nice feature about a lot of the greens here.
Well, I think, yes, mention the greens. I mean, there's good contours in them. They're not overbaked like some of the modern contours, where if you're in the wrong part of the green, you have a very hard job getting close to the hole, especially on a downhill putt. The greens are protected by bunkers on part of them. They're open in others. There's little terraces on sections, but they transition gently so that if you get on the terrace, have to putt down, you can get close to the hole. So I think that's why people enjoy this golf course so much, because it changes every day depending where the pin is.
Yeah.
And you have to work the green contours, and you have to learn how to putt it from one side of the green to the other, and then you have to learn the opposite when you go from the other side of the green. So I think that's another reason why your members and their guests want to play this on a continuing basis.
A lot of conditions. This is such an enjoyable golf course, like you said, to play day after day after day. You never get bored with it, and it's a really pleasure to play it every single day.
And it's also, this golf course, when Ron Whitten of Golf Digest came here, he said it's unlike any Florida golf course. And I think that's because it's a pure golf course, it's a core golf course, and it really has some phenomenal views like this, and it's just a great experience to be here, and you're not really distracted by anything from the outside except maybe Mother Nature.
Our course of the week is the Rees Jones Design Creek Course here at Hammock Dunes in Palm Coast, Florida. Right now we're out here at hole number 11, a great test of golf for anyone playing this golf course. In fact, hole number 11 happens to be the favorite hole on the entire layout for course designer Rees Jones.
Hole number 11 on the Rees Jones Design Creek Course at Hammock Dunes is a great par 4. The reason why, there are so many different ways in which you can play it.
As you move left towards the red tees and white tees, the hole straightens out. If you go back to the gold and the black tee from the tips, then you get to pick more of your angle that you'd like to take to cross the water.
Off the tee, this large oak can come into play. Still, The ideal shot is just to the left of the tree, leaving you with about 130 yards or so into the green.
But you've got a lot of different ways you can play it. You can hit a draw, you can hit a cut off the tee shot. Either way works fine. And you can hit a variety of clubs off there as well, hybrids, 3-wood or a driver.
While finding the fairway is half the battle here at number 11, the other half is taking on the green that features a bunker to the front left and a hill that slopes down towards the lake on the right. So the ideal shot might be at the center of the green.
So a red pin to the right is a pin you can go at, but if you push that to the right, it's possible to bounce into the lake on the right. Shots back to the left, we have a new feature back there where we took out a bunker and created a grass bowl, where it actually got harder if you fly over that green into that back area.
The elusive par 4 11th at the Creek Course at Hammock Dunes. A golf hole that can take just as easy as it can give.
It's dictated by the day on that one. It's a birdie hole on some days,
Right.
and there's other pins you want to stay away from, and par is a good score.
And that's going to do it for this week's show. We do want to give special thanks to Jesse Thorpe, Brad Myers, Ron Sharp, and the entire staff here at the Hammock Dunes Creek Course in Palm Coast, Florida. And special thanks to golf course designer Rees Jones for taking some time out of his busy schedule to be with Golf America. I'm Alan Hunter. For all of us here at Golf America, hit 'em long and straight, and we'll see you next time.
Golf America, a weekly look at the courses you play and the game we love, has been brought to you by Antigua, apparel for your game, and by CyberLinksGolf.com, the home of golf course videos.